Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 15292 Southwest Alderbrook Place here in Tigard. We're located at the front of the home. We're just off to the right of the front doorway. We have a 4-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. And I'll zero out the camera counter right when I get to the base of the cleanout here. I just wanted to point this joint out. It looks like it appears to be a dry fit joint here because it looks like a little bit of dirt's coming in through that. It's not affecting the flow or anything. It's just one of those spots where you could get like possibly a root from the bush over here that eventually could grow down into. It's really not a huge deal unless that totally opens up and starts letting dirt falling in. And a very easy fix. Simply dig down to it and glue it in place. So here at the base of the cleanout, we're going to zero out. And here we go. And transitions here at 35 feet over to 6-inch concrete pipe. So, if you look right here, we can see drip drops dripping from the top of the pipe. And it appears, you can see that there's some staining there on the pipe walls, like something's dripped through there and has dripped down the pipe for a very long time, it appears. It looks like we've got a crack in the top of the pipe. And if I reel back here a little bit, it's obviously not affecting the flow or the functionality of the line at this point. That's one of those things that that could in the future, as that continues there. Concrete pipe naturally will wear out just from water moving through it. Slowly but surely it wears. So if that water keeps dripping through those cracks, and we have another spot right here, we have very similar staining. And the only way you get that is by having cracks in the top of the pipe. So I was waiting to find a spot where we had drip drops coming through. There's a bit of pipe here that does have some cracking in it. Now again, not affecting the functionality of the line at this point. But it's one of those things that will lead the pipe to prematurely wearing out. And once that stuff starts to crack and open up there, the pipe becomes very vulnerable to roots and things like that coming through, as well as just wearing out much quicker. I'll get that located here at the end and see where it's at exactly. And we have similar staining here at the top of the pipe. Anywhere where you see that line down the middle, and then where you can tell that water's been running down the pipe walls for a long time, it's usually an indicator of a crack. What can happen though too is you'll get kind of a mildew growth that will build up, and depending on how much water or groundwater there is, you might get water dripping through some of it at certain times and other spots that, depending on how much rain there is and everything like that. Now here at 58 feet we have reached the main lateral. That's unfortunately one of those things, unless you're looking for those signs. If it were the dry season, we didn't have any rain for a while, you may not see those drip drops coming through. So it's kind of a tricky issue to see unless there's water, or water in the ground anyway. I'm going to go locate, see where we terminated at, and then we'll let it drain out. I located the camera head successfully. Line does just about a straight shot out to the main lateral on Alderbrook Place. We're going to let the line drain out here for 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll reel back. It located the camera head successfully at the main on Alderbrook. I'm going to go ahead and reel back. The line is now pretty much all drained out. Alright, I put a marking right here. This is where the transition point from ABS to concrete is at. Due to the fact that we've got cracking, there's a crack right here at the very beginning of the concrete, and they extend out basically all the way to the main lateral. So this right here is 6 feet deep. Basically all of the sewer line here, except for about a foot of pipe, is under concrete, or at least all the section that needs repair. So I highly recommend looking into doing a trenchless pipeliner, as it's going to be much, much cheaper than trying to dig all this stuff up. I would also recommend contacting the city to see if they're responsible for this portion of the line, as it starts right at the sidewalk or the right-of-way and extends out to the main lateral. Now, I'll put a marking at the main as well and just get a depth out there, but with doing a liner, depth is not all that important. Okay, so at this spot here we've had water dripping down, we also have a hole in the bottom of the pipe that's now visible. The pipe's drained out. That water there in the flow line there's a perforation in the line, or a crack that's letting groundwater flow in. So I do recommend a liner. Again, that's going to prematurely wear the line out there. At this point, not affecting the functionality of the line, but at some point it's going to start opening up. We've got cracks all the way out to the main. And we have a teeny tiny little bit of standing water here at the end of the line. This I'm not concerned about. All drained out. If we had no water going through the line, we'd only have about 1/8 of an inch of water there. So you can line right through that. That's not a big deal there. I'll put a marking here, or just a white tee out in the street. white T marking. There's just basically a marking at either end. I put a couple dots on the sidewalk to make it clear that that's the direction that the repair is heading in the line. But from 35 feet to 58 feet, I recommend doing a pipeliner on to update the line and mediate all the cracking we have going on here in the pipe and the water seeping into the sewer line. Alright, I'm just about to reel the camera out of the line. All the ABS plastic pipe we've got here is in good shape. The concrete portion of the line, however, does fail. We've got decent or good flow throughout it. The unfortunate part is we've got cracks in it that when there's groundwater, it's going to be letting water in, which is going to continue to deteriorate the pipe walls. But then when you don't have a lot of pressure from the water on the outside of the ground, you're going to reasonably expect that some of that sewage is going to be escaping the pipe through that, especially that like one hole there in the bottom of the flow line. So do recommend that line there was installed correctly. There's no issues there. Almost 100% of the sewer is on concrete, or all the repair is under concrete. So anyway, it ranges from 6 to 10 feet deep by the time you hit the main there. It starts right at the sidewalk and extends out to the main.